What are the advantages of sharing your camera during a virtual meeting? Anecdotally, some experts advocate that if you know you will be on camera, you may take the call more seriously and prepare better. If you share your camera, you allow someone to see your world. This includes your environment or your emotions, which means you can build better rapport with your audience. However, having the camera on has gotten people in trouble by broadcasting the occasional bathroom break or the pantless presentation. Beyond these accidents, the camera on state has been associated with a heavier cognitive workload, negative self-analysis, and constraints on physical mobility. This is why some companies have introduced Zoom-free Fridays. So, which one is it, camera on or off? We use neuroscience to settle such debates because neuroscience tools help us record what happens in audiences' brains and bodies implicitly without the need for self-reports. During our study, B2B buyers watched a virtual presentation related to a software technology for customer success, and they were biometric tools such as EEG, ECG, and GSR devices. For one of the groups, the presenter's camera was on during the entire presentation, and for the other group, the presenter's camera was off. We did not find any statistically significant differences in how much people enjoyed the experience. Buyers seemed to be in a good mood in both conditions. However, there was a slight approach behavior for the camera on group, meaning buyers wanted to lean in a little more when the presenter shared the camera. We also analyzed segments of the presentation, which included an introduction, trends in the customer's industry, the solution, and the follow-up. We found that fatigue was lower when the presenter's camera was on and decreased during the solution and follow-up, which is when you really want your buyers to feel still fresh. Buyers' EEG and ECG data also showed a trend toward trust for the camera on condition. Trust is a feature we observed in other EEG studies through a combination of low attention, high valence, and low arousal. In this rain cloud chart, you can see how the arousal is low for the camera on condition and the valence is high, meaning that people like that condition. Also, attention is lower. After all, when there is trust, you don't need to be so vigilant all the time. Not surprisingly, buyers in the camera on condition paid more attention to the presenter, and in the camera off condition, they paid more attention to the content. So, consider sharing your camera for these reasons. Your audience is likely to trust you more. They are less tired during half of the presentation. One reason for this, by the way, could be that reading the presenter's lips helps with comprehension. And as a speaker, you will attract more attention, so if you're using a presentation to build your personal brand, having the camera on will help you. If somehow you cannot share your camera, customize your virtual platform so it shows your photo. In our study, I suspect that one of the reasons for the lack of extreme differences between the two groups may have been because even in the camera off condition, buyers could still see the seller's photo. In addition, in our study, the presenter used a deck that included high-end design and slides that were delivered at a brisk pace with a lot of animations and visual changes. For example, on average, there was a slide change every 22 seconds and each slide contained an average of 9 animations. Given a dynamic presentation, even the condition with no camera gave participants enough stimulation to maintain focus and engagement. In fact, when we analyzed how people's brains synchronized within each group using a metric called inter-subject correlation, we found no statistically significant differences between the two conditions. So, if you're not sharing your camera, you must compensate with a highly dynamic presentation.